Okay, well today I have a Sharp. This is a VC-H952, 19 micron heads, hi-fi stereo, 4-head multi-language OSD, VHS HQ. And I think I picked this up at a thrift store like 5 years ago. And just stuck it out in the garage. Wife's been bugging me to try to get the garage cleaned up a little bit. It's like, well, I need to look at this because I have a customer that is in need of a VCR. So I thought I would see, does it even work? I think I paid like 25 bucks for it. Not a bad deal. Probably 75 by today's standards. But let me get the top off. We'll just take a look inside real quick and see what it looks like. Now, is this one that comes out from the back, or does it come out from the bottom? One screw. Really? There we go. Two. Oh, nice. And take a peek-see in here. Definitely had a little bit of use. Got some dirt in there. Uh-oh. That does not sound good. Oh, it's getting better. Well, you know what? I'm going to take this out and blow it out in the garage and see if that gets us absolutely anywhere at all. I'll try to get I just have a shop vac, try to get the blower in here. Wow, it sounds better already. I thought at first it was the coils on the rotary transformer becoming unglued from their respective sides, but yeah, I definitely want to blow this out before I even try to power it on. So I will be right back. One moment. Okay, so that looks much, much better. I even took a paintbrush out there to wipe stuff off, but it was not necessary. I believe there's been moisture over here on this side where you can see some staining over here, but got like 98.23579% of the dust out of this area. I don't see any bulged caps over here. Everything looks good. There's no snubber cap on this side of the power supply that I can see, which would be a failure point upon power up in most cases. So let's go ahead and apply power. 120 volts. Let's see what happens. And something happened. I heard a motor run briefly. And I do have a clock display blinking. It did power on, so that is good. The buttons are a little bit dirty. Let's find a vertical helical scan that I don't really care about, that if it eats it, it eats it, and kind of a so be it kind of a thing. Maybe it works. I don't know. It does not work. It does not know I put a tape in it, and that's because it's powered off. Still doesn't know. Okay, well, it's been quite a while since I've taken one of these things apart. So, mode select switch possibly? Cassette in switch? For the fun of it, let me look at the current drawn when I power this thing on. It does draw quite a bit of current. I mean, when I say quite a bit, it's like 15 watts. And then it does power off momentarily after that. So, let me try to get the mechanism out of here. I'm not sure if on the Sharps, I can't remember. Just remove power to be safe. Looks like there is possibly 2 screws. Let me just pop the whole bottom off real quick. I just want to make sure that these do not go into the mechanism. I have a feeling that one does go into the mechanism. Most likely. It looks like it should just lift up and out. Oh, it's got freaking tabs on the sides. Wonderful, thanks. Thanks, Sharp. Huh. Yeah, it's got these stupid little tabs you got to overcome. Okay, there's 1, 2, and 3 on that side. Maybe with one side free, it will allow the other side to become free easier, but not so lucky. Okay, bottom is off. Move it out of the way here. And it appears it's probably going to be just that one screw right there that holds the mechanism in. Okay. Now we'll just pop that on when we're done. So I do believe I need to remove the front panel. Oh, okay. Added bonus, the knobs pop off. Like I said, been a minute since I've done one of these things. Tabs down here. Just pop them open with a small prying apparatus. And then, yes, the front is completely off of the unit. Normally there's just a couple of screws that hold the mechanism in place. I don't really see any in the front. In fact, it's actually kind of loose. I do need to disconnect that connector right there. That is the loading motor. We can just unplug the audio control erase head and the cylinder motor, and then the full erase head. I could get it off the board. Okay, we'll try to get it off the board then. And neither way wants to work, so we'll give it a little bit of extra help here. Wow, it does not want to come off. Anyhow. There we go. That'll work. I do need to remove this cover, however. I think there's one screw that goes in the back here. And this should just lift up and out. Yes. And then I can unplug that connector down there. That's the head amplifier connector. So this mechanism should be free at this point. Should be being the key word here. I said I gotta disconnect. Why didn't you guys remind me? I don't know. I gotta get that thing unplugged. Fabulous. There we go. Easier than I thought. Now the mechanism should lift up and out. And yes, we are out. Whilst I have this apart, I'm going to run a cotton swab with glass cleaner in between the rear rotation sensors, the infrared emitter, and I'm going to try to wipe off the take-up receiver and the supply receiver over here. Checking the head protrusion. Feels like it has fairly low hours. The heads appear to be in pretty good shape. What does this use for a mode select switch? Is it on the chassis? I don't see it on the chassis. It is not on the Capstan motor. It must use this optical sensor right here. Where, see if I can zoom in on it. As it makes and breaks, there must be a couple photo-opto isolators down in there. And as it makes and breaks, it makes and breaks the light beam. So we'll have to clean those off and give it another try and see what's going to happen. Well, I don't think my cotton swab is going to get in here, but I'm going to give it a try anyhow. This is the optical mode select switch. These two photo-opto couplers. So if something gets in the way, it breaks the beam. These are for the real rotation sensors. It's getting in there pretty good. I will take this out and blow it out again. This is the supply real rotation sensor. Sorry, might have been off camera. That is the supply real rotation sensor. And then this one over here was the take-up. Hopefully you saw that one. And then I want to clean this infrared emitter right here. So if there's any problem with the optics on this unit, it will cause it to shut down. And then I want to clean the, let's see, there it is, the supply tape sensor. And then over here on this side is the take-up sensor. Same thing. Let's try to wipe off the face of it. It uses this sensor right here to detect whether there is a tape in the unit or not. So I'm going to run this out, blow it out. I'll be right back. Okay, now on this model, I do want to go ahead and clean the prism that lives right here, because any contamination on that will obstruct the light beam, even if it's down here on the stock. So I just want to wipe it off really good. Especially down in here, that's the reflective surface. Well, the back side of it at least. The back side of water. Okay, that definitely looks better. Let's get to the bottom side now. Hopefully I can still line this up on camera somewhere. There it is right there. Look at that. Look how dirty that is. So I'm going to take the wet end. This could be the whole problem right there. Looks like there's something on it. Maybe they just didn't finish that in very good when they manufactured it. I do want to go ahead, just in case this actually does work, I want to give this belt the acetone treatment, clean the pulleys. And one more thing, I want to remove the Capstan rotor right here. And it's only held in with one C-clip right there. I can pop that off, run it through, clean the insides of that with a cotton swab and some acetone, and put a little fresh oil on there, because this thing is, well, 20-something years old now. So let's get this belt off of here. Excuse me, 1996. So 2006 is 10 years. 2016 would be 20 years. 2026, hey, that's now. Almost to the day would be 30 years old. No way, this thing can't be 30 years old. Wow. Well, time flies when you're having fun. Well, a certain amount of time has passed. A couple of days. Let's see, where did I leave off on this thing? Oh yeah, I took the belt off. And I do need to service that belt. So I do have a paper towel, moisten it with acetone. And I'm just going to get the belt and drag it through multiple times. This will remove the contaminants on the outside of the belt, while extending the life at the same time. Belt savers. Get some today. It's just acetone. I've only been doing this for, well, if this thing's 30 years old, I've been doing it for 45. Since about 1980-ish. Yeah, we're going to have to get a new spot. Look how dirty that is. A lot coming off here. I like it to come out fairly clean, which it will if I give it enough time. And I do want to go ahead and clean the pulleys as well. Well, it's getting marginally better. Well, I think that's going to be it. Certainly got quite a bit off there. I think I'll give it a second pass just to be sure. I still can't believe this thing's 30 years old. Unbelievable. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, much better outcome that time. And oh yeah, I remember now. I wanted to go ahead and pop this clip off. Hopefully it will come off fairly peacefully and not fly halfway across the planet, and it did not. Pull that little spacer up out of there. Now this is keyed. It has to go in a certain way, so the clip, there's a little dot right there. Hopefully you can see it. I don't think you can see it. Bump up the exposure. So the opening in the C-clip has to fit around that little dot right there. Okay, now it's way pumped up. Okay, that should be good. I'm going to take the same paper towel that I used to clean the belts. And just use it to clean the shaft here. Not bad. Not bad at all. No wear. That's a good sign. Because if I pulled this out and it had rust on it, then I would know that the bushing is probably toast. No, but that looks really, really good. I want to wipe off the inside of the magnet just in case there's any contaminants in there. And then the outside of the magnet operates this little Hall effect sensor right here. And it feels pretty good. So I want to take a Q-tip or any branded cotton swab. It doesn't have to be the actual Q-tip brand. I want to run it through both sides. Then pull it through from the back side, sop up any excess acetone. That actually looks really, really good. I think I'll pass it through one more time. And we'll get a dry one and just try to clean off both halves. I should say dry them. There we go. So I think what I want to do is, this is the oil I'm going to use. It's from the Zoom Spout Oiler. I just put it into a little precision needle bottle. It's not scripted. I'm going to add some oil here. There it goes. And then it appears there's actually a gap in between here where there's actually one bushing and a second bushing. So I'm going to add a generous portion of oil in here. Put that guy back on there. Now I just got to put the clip on the other side. And then always make sure, obviously, that you wipe off the capstan shaft before you try to play a tape. I believe I have made that mistake in the past. So I'm going to put that towards the back side. We'll pop that in the groove. And then Hopefully without it going flying. Like that. I think I'm going to have to do it manually. Hopefully you can still see what I'm doing. Okay, it's in the groove. Come on, baby. Oh, so close. Okay, and that got it on. It spins very, very freely now. Okay, well, let's put this thing back together. Pop the belt back here on the bottom since it's all nice and clean now. Just want to make sure it has adequate traction. Oh yeah, it's good. Okay, I'm going to throw this back in. I'll be right back. One moment. Okay, kind of back together. Nothing's bolted down. The front's not on it. I just want to give it power and see what it does. I believe we still have a problem. It's trying to continuously unload, and it shouldn't be doing that, and it powered down. Yeah, it appears that it is blocking the photodiode here. Yeah, it's still drawing current. Maybe it's because I have the lights on. I wonder if that's affecting it at all. I don't think so. But you know what I don't see? I don't see any output out of this at all. It should be lighting up in the camera right now. No, I don't see anything. Interesting. Okay, let's do some troubleshooting. Okay, we are assembled upside down at this point. I did verify with my cell phone that the infrared emitter was working, and it is. So I'm going to power this on. I do not have the loading motor connected at the moment. And let me see here. Let me move this. So here is the emitter. I am tied to common ground, so I should get a positive voltage here, 4.672 volts. And this should be considerably lower, 3.49. And so that is the voltage drop between 4.6 and 3.4. So what is that, a volt? 1.2 volts. But the main thing is I want to, let's move that up here so we get rid of the glare. I want to look at this start sensor voltage right here. I believe this is the supply voltage, most likely 4.6. This is the return, and it's at 0 right now. And if I try to insert a tape, it just stays at 0. Ooh, I thought I would have seen some kind of a change. Interesting. Do we just simply have a bad sensor? What is this one over here reading? Or should have the same 4.6 on one. We have 0.7 on this one. So that one is seeing the light, I believe. And I'll try to put my hand in here and block. Oh, look at that. When I block it, it goes up to 4.6. So blocked, unblocked, blocked, unblocked. So one side is obviously ground. Ohm check. Yes, it is. Let's go back on this side. So when it's blocked, it should be high voltage. So that should be the ground side. And it is. So as you insert the tape, it should unblock it. Oh, and it's working fine now. Did you see that? I swear I did not do that last time. Was I on the wrong pin? I was probably just on the wrong pin. So that appears to be working perfectly. Well, I guess the next thing we can do is check the two infrared detectors for what they call the cam switch right here. So D708, D709. I think it would be easiest if I removed the mechanism from this unit and just inserted something in between them to block the infrared beam. One moment. Okay, so I have the mechanism removed and it's setting upside down right now. So I'm just going to power it on. These should always be active. So there should always be voltages on here somewhere. I'm not sure what side is the transmit and what side is the receive, or emitter and receive. So 0.888, 0, 0, this must be supply. 0.9. Interesting, okay. And this one, is it the same? 0.891 and 0.922. So I'm just going to temporarily just stick my fingernail in that gap and see if anything. That one does change slightly. I'm going to have to find something more substantial to block off the light. One moment. Okay, there is a chance. I think I found what's going on with this thing. A chance. I'm not going to say 100% sure. This IC right here, IC 951. Input, that's basically the ground pin. And it goes through a diode to boost the voltage by about 0.7 of a volt. That's the output pin. So let's measure the input voltage. Power on. I've got 14 volts going into it. About 0.6 on the center pin. And I've got, you saw 3.3 coming out. Shut it off again. And power it back on. So 3 volts right there. That's a 7809 regulator. So I should be getting 9.6 volts out of it with the addition of that diode. Let me see if I have a 7809 regulator. Well, as luck would have it, right there, 17809. I don't know if you can see it. Let me put it back in the manual focus. There it is, L7809CV. So let's get this thing put in and see if it makes any kind of a difference. Soldering apparatus are warming up at the moment. We'll get this thing unsoldered, get the new one put in, see what happens. So hopefully you can see the cap checker there. I went ahead and then soldered the inductor in between the two capacitors in the pi filter network. So let's go ahead and check these two caps. 0.2 ohms and 0.32 ohms. So I'm pretty good with those. I wonder what the values are on them. So that one is a 470 and the second one is a 330. So I'm pretty good with those values. Let's solder that inductor back in place and we'll power this thing back on and see if we get different results. Heck, I thought it was just going to be a quick cleaning. I guess not. Okay, here we go. Let's check the voltages on this thing with power now. So 13.7 on the input pin and 9.7 on the output pin. That's what I would expect. So I remember we were checking the optical sensors previously, Move this thing back over here. Seems to be a weird angle that I'm at the moment. Let me move the camera one moment. So just for the fun of it, what voltages do we have on the optical sensors now? So 0.1 volts and 1.1, much better. And so this is switched. So there is a transistor down here, right there, that does the switching. So 5 volts on the output pin, 4.4, and then one of these I thought was the 9-volt source. Anyhow, the numbers are looking much, much better. So let's go ahead and put the mechanism back in it and see if it makes any difference. One moment. Okay, somewhat reassembled. Let's give it some power. Ooh, something different happened. The capstan motor turned. So currently, I do not have the cylinder motor plugged in. So to test it, that's all we actually need. So let's try to put a tape in it and see if it tries to take the tape. And yes. And look at that. It loaded the tape and it is playing the tape. Well, I think at this point, I need to put the rest of the unit back together, connect it to a capture device, and see if we get video. Okay, here we go again. Capturing in 3, 2, 1, capture. Oh, no storage devices found. You gotta plug it in, really? All right, let's try that again. Capturing in 3, 2, 1, capture. And it shows it is recording. I do have video on the screen. Power is applied. The unit is turned on. Let's pop a tape into it. Man, almost doesn't make it past that. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but at least it does work. May have to give it a good lubrication and see what happens. Anyhow, there it is. It's actually playing. It does have audio. It shows left and right hi-fi audio. So it is actually working. Anyhow, that's it. Give it, like I said, a quick clean and lube. You see me do it 1,000 times. The Sharp, what model was this again? A VC-H952. Everyone, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye. How do I get the tape out of here? All right, capture device is connected. Power this thing on. There we go. It's all put back together. All the cables are connected. Capturing in 3, 2, 1, capture. 3, 2, 1, capture. And I'm not getting a capture. One moment. Okay, I believe I have the problem rectified. So here we go. Capturing in 3, 2, 1, capture. And it shows it is recording. Let's power this thing on. See if we get anything on the screen. And I thought we would have gotten something by now. Oh. No, that's right. Didn't have the audio connected, but I have the video connected. All right, one more moment.